everybody, and welcome into another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast. I'm Lindsay Smith. That's Saul Bookman. That's Gerald Bourget, and that's Espo. We are in the right seats today.
We are.
Mm-hmm. And it's a very good day here in the PHNX offices because we got a surprise delivery. Saul is holding them.
Yes.
Gerald, Espo, and Emma and I have already indulged in all of our goodies from Buc-ee's.
Techies.
Yes.
Techies. Texas's favorite.
Thank you to Amelia for the hookup. She came back from Texas and hooked us up.
Yes.
We very much, it's basically the only good thing that comes from Texas. Yes.
Also, like the best surprise ever. Because you just walked in and you're like, look at this goodie basket. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best day of my life.
This is easily my favorite flavor too. It's
those
white cheddar habanero.
Yes. No, but those ones, the cinnamon ones.
Are good too.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
We're in a good place today.
Thank you, Amelia. We appreciate you very, very much. That quite literally made all of our days.
It really did.
It really did.
We live a sad existence.
Or it's just the little things you got to learn to appreciate.
Maybe
more.
It's
the little things in life that make the big difference.
The fact that somebody went on vacation or went somewhere else and actually took the time to think about us and get something that they knew that we would enjoy means the world to us, no matter what Espo says.
Lindsay was saying the food itself is the way I read that it made her day to have the food. Amelia made my day by thinking of us, but you know.
So now you're misquoting me.
Walking it back. Walking it
I'm
back.
throwing me under the bus at the same time.
I know.
Can you believe this guy?
It's a unique skill he has.
All right. Let's talk a little bit of Suns movement or wanting
We're
from
moving
the internet.
Stop.
We got a tweet from Shams. They said, just in, the Washington Wizards and Bradley Beal will work together to find a trade for the three-time All-Star if the team elects to reset the roster in the near future. League sources tell me and Joshua B. Robbins. Obviously, that meant everyone and their mom on the internet started putting together trade scenarios and talking about which team they would want Bradley Beal. And of course, as Suns fans, we had to get in on the action.
This just in. No. There's too many reasons why this does not make sense for the Suns. If he wasn't, getting a ridiculously high salary for what he produces at this moment, because he's been riddled with injury. He's not been as available as he once was. And you're not going to pay $50+ million for a guy like Bradley Beal. I don't give a shit how much you love him. It's not worth it. Like it just is not worth it. That's all I'll say. It's not worth it.
Suns Twitter, you stop it. No, you stop it. This is not fantasy basketball, and you can't trade Chris Paul for Bradley Beal because the math doesn't work. So stop it.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to throw in another contract like Shamet. You would have to assume the Wizards are going to move up, increase his guarantees, which I don't know why they would do that if they're trying to start over. It doesn't make sense from a logistical standpoint. And look, Bradley Beal is still a good player. I think the Wizards' mediocrity over the last half decade has made some people forget that he's very good. But like, he's getting older. He's owed an average of $50 million over the next 4 years. His availability has not been great. And like we've talked about this, the Suns don't need a third star. A third star would be great, but not one making this much money where you'd have to either trade CP3 and Landry or DA and Landry for him. And that's not even going to be enough. I don't think. His value is a lot lower because of that contract and because the Wizards, their situation, they should have traded him like 4 or 5 years ago, for being honest. But like, Beal's not a realistic candidate here at all.
Have you guys seen the CP3 State Farm commercial with the really long shorts and he's out there on the court? If you were to have 3 guys like this on the Suns roster making that much money, all those no-name, faceless guys that were on the court with Chris Paul would fill out the rest of your roster. It doesn't work.
I was wondering where he was going with that.
Okay.
I got there.
He did. Yeah, I mean, listen, just from the money side of it alone, I feel like this is a non-starter. Like you were saying, Gerald, 4 years left on his 5-year deal for $251 million, average annual salary of $50 million. And don't forget a no trade clause.
Yeah.
And a great kicker.
And then
exactly.
And then on top of that, like if you did, let's just for shits and giggles say, hey, yeah, we made the move when we got Bradley Beal. I don't want to hear every offseason, well, the Suns better make some moves and, shore this line. No, they can't. They have no money.
It's over.
You are capped out, and there is no flexibility to move anybody not named Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. So unless you want to get rid of Devin Booker at some point or Kevin Durant, no. Just no.
And I get the all-in mentality, but this isn't all in. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Okay, so now that we're all on the same page with that one.
So if you see anybody out there proposing a Bradley Beal trade,
say no.
Just delete them off of Twitter or block them or whatever you got to do because they're not your friend.
Teach them math.
They're evil.
Tell them to
Just
log
say
off.
no. For the sake of the fact that we're talking about the Wizards, let's look at maybe some other Wizards players that the Suns could potentially be interested in.
Roster poaching, yes.
If in the event that the Wizards decide that they're going to be big sellers, right? We do have to keep in mind, like, disclaimer, just because a team decides to be sellers doesn't mean that this is a yard sale where you get everything for real cheap. Okay.
Well, that's the internet.
Just remember that, though. As much as we love a good deal, this isn't that
We're
place.
not Lakers fans.
You value our scraps more than we value yours. That's how trades work, right?
Suns fans on Twitter are like the guy that messages you on Facebook Marketplace and you have an item listed for $300. He's like, I'll give you $22.
Right?
You're like, yeah, you can go screw yourself. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start with Monte Morris. Okay. Averaged 10.3 points, 5.3 assists, 3.4 rebounds in 62 games this season. I believe he is expiring this year and will make $9.8 million. What say you?
I'd do this if you can figure out a way to do it, especially if Washington is looking to save some money this year. Maybe it's something involving campaign, right? Is it $2 million?
It's 2.5 out of his $6 million deal, I believe, is guaranteed.
So you'd have to figure out if you could get the math to work, but I'm all in on Monte Morris if you can figure out a way to get him in here, even if it's just a stopgap at the point guard position. Plus, Nuggets fans want him back, so any way you can really piss them off, I'm in.
Exactly. Monte Morris. How about Monte Morris for Shamit?
See, the money there works better, but I don't know that the Wizards would be willing to do that.
They both need to change the scenery. It's okay.
Do they?
They do. Well, first of all, actually, yeah. I mean, I'm sure Landry's getting tired of getting shit on by Suns fans across the land.
Oh, my question is more, why would the Wizards do that?
Yeah.
Well, because maybe Monte Morris wants to, some new scenery.
You don't
maybe
think the Wizard could find a better option?
Saying, maybe.
Sorry,
you two
sorry.
sticklers for every little detail. These two
Jules rubbed off on me yesterday, and I was talking about living in a dream world.
Just live in my world for a second,
like,
okay?
Hold on a second.
Monte Morris
Back to the
for
dream
Landry Shamit. Let me finish.
Okay.
You are finished.
It's the beautiful part of both worlds, okay?
Look, Saul just sits there and tells people, don't make crazy trades. Don't give us your
That's
shit.
not a crazy trade.
Yes, it is.
No, that's not, Jock Landale for fucking Bradley Beal.
It's not crazy. It's just I don't understand why the Wizards would do it. It's not like, out of the, like, we've seen some dumb trades. Like, remember when the Pelicans traded DeMarcus Cousins and the reaction at the time was, what the hell are the Pelicans doing? This is an awful trade. And then like 2 or 3 seasons later, we looked back on it and we were like, wow, the Pelicans handily won that trade. Like, teams do dumb shit and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it's just dumb shit. This for me though is like, why, like, I feel like the Wizards could do better for Monte Morris as an expiring contract because he is one of the better backup guards in the league. And he definitely was when he was still with the Nuggets. Shamit doesn't have any guaranteed money past the season, so that helps. But like, so does Morris. Like,
Yeah,
you could
they're
just
the
take
same.
Morris.
Listen, I just want to say this, okay?
Okay.
I'm looking out for Landry Shamit. Landry, if you're watching this, and I hope you are, listen, you've played on contenders, you've played on playoff teams, and it just hasn't worked out, okay? Mm-hmm. Why not go to a bottom feeder of a franchise and the pressure's all off? It's all off. Now you can thrive. Now you can be the Landry Shamit that everybody hoped you would be. Like, it's an opportunity to succeed. Let's go.
Like, he's the one that needs to be convinced in all of it.
Why would Landry take your advice? That's like breaking up with your girlfriend and then going to her as your therapist. Like,
Yeah,
why?
You've been watching too much Ted Lasso.
Wait, how? What?
Don't worry about it.
Just-
The point is, you're still not answering my question why the Wizards do this. You made it an appeal to Landry.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the Wizards would never do this.
Thank you. We got there. Look, I was
trying to wear you guys down.
I think what complicates any deal with the Wizards, not the poo-poo on this whole concept that we came up with, they're going to want draft picks, though, because they're trying to rebuild.
Right.
And guess what the Suns don't have? Draft picks.
They got
Yeah.
We
second
got
rounders.
second rounders, and didn't we just
Oh,
have a
neat.
conversation 2 weeks
Landry
ago about
and a
how
second
second
rounder.
rounders
Let's
are now
go.
becoming more valuable
When did we talk about that?
when the Nuggets traded for some?
Yeah,
Because when
okay.
you're a contender, you need to have that.
But the
And
Wizards
I know the
aren't
Wizards
gonna
aren't there
be
yet, but they could get there one day.
Freddie's got it right, though. Only a wizard could fix Shamit.
Come on.
Freddie.
There you go, Freddie. That's my
Oh,
boy.
God.
Let's go.
All
I feel
right.
so bad for
Well-
Landry sometimes.
Can we get him on the show?
That's why he
He
needs
would
to go.
never come on our
I
show.
want him to confront Saul.
He could watch one episode of our show and
Like,
there'd be
nope.
like 3 different uncalled for Landry
If he
zingers.
ever agreed to come on
He'd
the
be
show,
like, why
I
do
would hit
these
him up and be
people-
like, no,
First of all,
absolutely not.
he would have to read the comments first because I don't just come out and say things.
That's such
randomly.
a lie. That is a blatant lie.
Can I pull back the curtain
You
a
are
little bit?
such a liar.
Can I pull back the curtain a little bit? Saul the other day comes into me and goes, hey, you know what I think we need to do? I think we need to be more positive on it.
I sure
Two
did.
days later, he's
I
like,
sure did.
"What
Define
for
what
share?"
you mean by we.
Well, I did get around to it. I said, I think I need to be more positive about things.
Damn, man.
Oh my God.
Poor
All right, let's
Landry.
move on. Denny Avdija. What do we think about?
Yeah.
I would like him.
Denny.
He's on a very manageable
Mhm.
$6.2 million
Also
contract.
expiring.
Also expiring. He is extension eligible this offseason. He's a good defender. Like he's just a good utility glue guy who can do a little bit of everything. And after the Wizards traded Rui Hachimura to the Lakers and freed up more playing time for him, he did a lot with it. He was contributing a lot of different categories. His numbers looked really good. He's a guy that has been on the radar for me, at least for a little while now. I think like he's 22 years old, extension eligible. And if the Wizards are blowing it up, if they trade Bradley Beal, if they look for, maybe sign and trades or just let Kristaps Porzingis and or Kyle Kuzma go, like, why are you getting rid of a 22-year-old who can be a decent piece for you rebuilding? That's my biggest question. I feel like some of the guys that we're naming would probably need to be part of a bigger deal, probably revolving around DeAndre Ayton, because Campaign, Landry Shamet, they're useful trade chips in a bigger trade, but they don't have a ton of trade value alone. Chris Paul, we've talked all about his trade value and the difficulties in dealing him. Like if you're the Wizards, you're looking at them like, okay, you like Monte Morris, you like Denny Avdija, you like maybe Daniel Gafford. If we're going to put together a trade, like we'll do multiple pieces for a cornerstone young centerpiece. Maybe that's when you have a discussion, but I don't know if those 3 pieces are worth a DA trade by themselves.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I put this back out on the internet. It was one of our Trade Machine Tuesdays from, I think, a few weeks ago. And it was DA and Landry Shamet for Kristaps and Kuzma. And all the Wizards fans are like, why would we do that? Because those are 2 guys that can walk away and you get absolutely nothing for them. And my thought is, and then some people were like, well, why would those 2 guys opt in? If they get an opportunity to play with Book and KD and they can win a title and then they're going to be free agents anyways, it makes them look better. So I was like, that might be the kind of deal you could pull off because the Wizards get some value in a young piece. And then if they flip Beal in another deal, they can add some more picks or young guys around. But yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to, vulture this and pick the carcass of the Wizards and get young talent for nothing because they're going to want young talent in a rebuild.
Right. It's going to take like DA for something like Gafford, Morris, and Denny Avdija. I don't know that the Wizards do that. I don't know that the Suns do that because we have talked about needing more depth, needing to turn DA and CP3 into like 2 to 3 good role players, but you are also losing on the talent spectrum a little bit there. You can't just get a bunch of like 6th, 7th, 8th men for these guys either. And I don't know that any of these guys that I'm looking at on the Wizards roster are necessarily maybe Gafford. I like his potential. Morris is a good backup. Denny Avdia could be a starter on a decent team, but
that's the hard part about this is the Wizards were so bad that you just don't know how to compare some of these players. You know, Denny Avdia has shot 43% for his career, and I think just around 30% from the 3-point line. And I mean, is that what he is? Can he be better? Is he going to be worse? You just don't know. Never played in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing. Like, you know, you're basically a rookie when you get to that point. And you know, how do players respond when they get put in those positions? So yeah, sticky.
My problem with the Monte Morris thing too is I get triggered when I hear that name because I automatically think Marcus Morris because my brain is so addled with or riddled with those memories. So.
Also, when we're talking about Kuzma, like, sure, there could be a scenario where he opts in to come play with Book and KD, but I feel like he's going to be wanting a bigger paycheck at this point, no?
Well,
like, if I'm Kuz, as much as it would be really cool to play with Book and KD, I feel like I want to get paid right now at this point in time in my career.
The way you'd sell it is we can get you more because you're going to be able to do more because the defense is going to focus on KD, it's going to focus on Book, and you're going to go into free agency next year, and hopefully you're a champion at that point too. We can get you more money.
But that's a gamble.
Yeah, but
it's a big
everything
gamble.
in life's a gamble.
Yeah, and if you're putting big money in front of me or a gamble to maybe get a little bit more big money, I'm just going to take the big money initially.
No, because like if Kuz was a free agent after they won the finals, when he was with the Lakers, and yeah, you're good. You know, like you're gonna make a lot of money. Wait, wasn't he? Where he was traded? He was traded. He was traded. Yeah. So I was right. And so I think you're gonna look at this Denver Nuggets team. Bruce Brown is not coming back on that same contract. KCP not coming back on that same contract. Like those are guys that are gonna be, they're gonna be valuable on the open market. So your money level goes up significantly when you win a title and you're a contributor to that team because people can visualize how you would fit into their championship plans.
Kuzma's a difficult one because he does have that $13 million player option. Even if the Suns found a way to wiggle themselves down to opening up that full mid-level, which is like 12.2, that's still less than his current player option is for next season. So it'd have to be, if it's a free agency path or a sign and trade type situation, you're looking at like, okay, we're going to sign you to a 1-year wink deal where we'll try and make it up to you later. I don't know if that's enough. And if you're the Wizards, like if you're the Suns, you're kind of hoping that he opts into his $13 million player option and you work out a trade, work him in as part of a bigger trade. Cause campaign Landry Shamet, the Wizards aren't going to give him Kuzma up for that.
No, it'd have to be something with DA and and you'd have to get Kuz to opt in. There's no easy path here. So.
No, not at all. Seems like this whole offseason, that's the theme of the offseason. Like, there's no easy path here.
That's our off-season slogan. Get the graphic ready. There's no easy path.
Welcome to the struggle bus, y'all.
We don't know what steps are, but we know there's not an easy path.
All right. We have 2 super chats. One from Ryan. Ryan wants to know, Saul, what's the Taco Bell order?
Oh, I had 3 Doritos tacos.
The Doritos Locos?
Yeah.
No Mexican pizza? That's my favorite.
No.
Is it?
With the cinnamon twists.
I love the cinnamon twist. I'm a beef chalupa.
You can't get cinnamon twists on DoorDash, which is stupid.
You can't?
No,
that's weird.
It's really weird.
Oh,
that's crap.
Yeah. And then we also got one from Frank. Thank you, Frank. Said, I feel for Girth doing Shamet articles last year.
I love my job, and Shamet's a good guy. Don't feel bad for me.
I thought you were going to say, I love my Landry Shamet.
No.
See what I mean?
He's a great guy.
I think
he's a nice guy. And listen, I think that, part of what I was trying to infer with Hespo was that, like, I do feel like I've been a little too hard on him. That's why I took a step back. If you notice during the season, I did take a little bit of a step back, and I wasn't as aggressive on him as I could have been because I'm not going to kick a guy that's down. Like, but then he had that fantastic game 3, and the door's wide open now. So whatever.
God bless.
Oh, that's what you were capable of? You've been holding out this whole time.
Now that we know better.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh, man. Well,
2 steps forward, 3 steps
what
back.
do we think the over-under on Landry Shamet slander from Saul is for the remainder of the offseason?
Ooh,
What should we set the bar on at?
Well, if he gets traded, we're gonna get one big rant, I think, just to send him off. So.
Okay, how about between now and Summer League? Over under.
Comments?
Comments.
You gotta use your mic. You gotta use your mic.
Yeah, comments.
So comments.
Nah.
Now in
Under-
Summer League, which is July 7th is when we're leaving.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say 9. 9.5 is the over under.
Okay.
I'm going
think
over.
that's-
That's kind of high.
9.5.
That's what, 2.5 weeks? 3 weeks?
I guarantee.
But see, now he's
9?
going to change his strategy, knowing what the line is.
I guarantee that I won't speak about Landry Shamet again until after Summer League.
That's a lie for
Oh,
sure.
man.
Oh, now if he gets traded, Saul can't talk about him.
I'm
You're
going.
such a liar. How many lies have you said on this show,
Look at
Saul?
lies. I will put a bet on it
We
if you want to.
17.
It's not
Well,
fair when you
I did the
control
35
that.
pointer
That's
and it
fair.
didn't
We
happen.
did make the bet.
That
We
was
were
an-
close.
that was a
We were close. We
disappointment,
got
that's
closer
for
than.
sure.
31.
Yeah, we were close.
Well, if you want to get in on some betting action, make sure you download and sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app. And make sure you use bonus code PHNX when you do. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, you will get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use that bonus code PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
Also, if you're looking for a great Father's Day gift, check out our friends over at Saturday Neon. The company was started by 2 friends and former college roommates, and they make officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs. These signs are legit. They look great. They light up so perfectly. Like, they just add such a good ambiance to your space. So if you're a diehard fan or a casual supporter, you're going to love these signs no matter what. If you go to SaturdayNeon.com and use code PHNX, you're going to get 10% off your order today, and you get free shipping on orders over $200. Again, that is SaturdayNeon.com, and the code is PHNX.
Guys, why are we so triggered by Taco Bell right now in this chat?
Taco Bell is so much better than Del Taco.
I
I am
mean,
not sorry for saying it.
I didn't realize this was going to be a hot take, and now the chat is all about some Del Taco.
How about
Del Taco?
How about Gilbert's reason? Del Taco is Taco Bell on steroids. Better fries, better steak, plus they have burger. I'm not going to a Mexican restaurant for fries and a burger.
I'm definitely not going to Del Taco for fries and a burger. That's for sure.
Lindsay, did you know we have one more sponsor?
No. Do you
Yeah.
have another sponsor?
Can we play that ad?
Are you an NBA general manager in the market for great values this offseason? Is the second apron in the new CBA taunting you? Don't worry. Come on down to
Is
the
that a
newest
stock
department
footage?
store, Biombo, Bobon, and Beyond, geared towards your needs. We have the best slightly used NBA
Why'd you
players
throw Bobon
at
in there?
value prices. Need a veteran 3-and-D guy willing to accept the biannual exception? We got him. In the market for a point guard who isn't 38 years old? We got that too. Want a former star who's serviceable with a recognizable name to keep your fan base pacified? Oh, you know we got that. So come on down to Biombo, Bobon, and Beyond for the best values in
Biombo,
basketball. We're
Bobon.
looking at you, James Jones.
Biombo, Bobon, and Beyond.
Look at it. There's a one-stop shop to solve all the problems we have here in Phoenix. Biombo, Bobon, and Beyond. And they've taken over all the old Bed Bath and Beyonds, so they only had to replace 2 things on the side. They're ready for you.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Look, I bring this up because all this Bradley Beal talk, we've heard other names thrown out there. People seem to have Nordstrom expectations when we're likely shopping in a Walmart aisle this offseason.
Or Ross.
or Target, whatever your preference is. Maybe it's even slightly higher than Walmart. Like, my point is, you're going to have to find value this off season. You're going to have to get creative. And I don't think trying to get a star outside of maybe one or two guys makes sense financially, makes sense in what's going on for your future. You're going to have to find those guys that can outperform, like we saw with Miami and all their undrafted guys that were on that roster, like we saw with Denver and all those on those vets on minimums and whatnot being there. That's the path the Suns are going to have to go.
Yeah, pretty much. You're going to need to nail some of your veteran minimum signings this offseason. And I thought James Jones did a decent job with that last season. They're like Josh Okogie on a minimum. That was more than worth his contract. Damian Lee, same deal. Jock Landale, same deal there. Even though that was a trade. You're going to need to make moves like that and to round out the rest of your roster. Maybe these guys aren't part of the playoff rotation because that needs to be chopped down to 7-8 guys. But I felt like they did a decent job with that last summer. You're going to have to replicate that this summer. And I think a lot of people need to get it in their minds that a lot of the Suns' own free agents are guys that you're probably going to be targeting as well to bring back, because you can go over the cap to re-sign your own free agents. And that doesn't help you in terms of the luxury tax and the second luxury tax apron that we keep talking about. But it does help in terms of getting guys here for maybe a little bit more than the vet men.
Yeah, Torrey, Okogie, Jock, guys like that have a defensive mindset in part could be that.
So one of the things that's that I know has been talked about is just the fact that, yes, I agree. There's some good solid value that James Jones had coming in, but there's an argument to be made about guys that were undersized playing certain positions. And really the biggest thing, inconsistency. They were wildly up and down, whether it be game to game, month to month, week to week. When you threw out a lineup of guys, you didn't know really what to expect outside of your core group. And even you can make the argument that you didn't even know what to expect with DA. So I think the Suns are looking for some length and some consistency from the 3-and-D positions. And I think that's the biggest focus for them this offseason. I agree that some of these guys that are already on the roster should come back. I do think Josh Okogie should come back. Torrey Craig, you can make an argument for and against. But Jock, I would like to see Jock back, because I think Jock, even when Jock is not playing at a high level, his energy is at a high level. And that's the same thing that could be said about Josh Okogie and at times Torrey Craig. And I think that's what you need to focus on is if they're having an off game, what else do they bring to the table? And I think with those three guys specifically, they brought a lot to the table in terms of what their energy level was, how, and they could defend. And I like that. Outside of that, you got to get some more length. You got to get some more length in a big way.
I feel like the biggest name that they may look at would be like a Karl Anthony Towns, a guy that could replace what you thought you were going to get out of a DA. But putting another superstar on this roster isn't going to get it done. We've seen big threes fail, a whole hell of a lot in this game. And I'd much rather get creative and put guys. Now, if somebody with a bigger name is willing to take less money, that fine, that makes sense. But if you're looking at guys with max deals, it's going to be tough to find what really puts you over the top.
I will say this, because we have talked about a variety of different players, from Damian Lillard to Cat and stuff like that. Cat is the one name that I'm like, okay, if you're going to give up DA and possibly lose Chris Paul as well, like who's the one guy that could probably make a more of a difference in terms of your overall style and flexibility on offense and defense? And I think Cat is definitely one of those guys, because he's a big that can shoot from the outside, which by nature is going to draw the big guys out from the center and create a lot more space than you had before. And as a third option, I mean, you're not going to find many better. That's great, you know. So, but that's still a pipe dream. You don't know what's going to happen, and you got to find solid role players. I think Bruce Brown is definitely. I think that's a name that you should watch out for. I think that's a name that the Suns are going to want to poach from the Nuggets. You saw what he did in the finals. Great energy guy. He's a good player, and I think that's the type of dude that you need to try and get in here ASAP.
Zeus says, well, we've seen big threes win title. I agree, but now the CBA is set up where it is not advantageous to try to put that together. And actually, I think it's designed to stop that from happening.
Mhm.
I feel like this is an era gone by in terms of the way to do this.
Yeah, the big three era with that second luxury tax apron is coming to an end as we know it. Maybe you can get lucky and have one of those or two of those big three on a rookie scale contract, a guy that you draft who's an immediate superstar, but we're going to see less and less of teams that have three superstars, and they're going to pay severe luxury tax penalties. They're going to have their avenues to build their rosters out limited by that second luxury tax apron. So, you know, I like the idea of Cat here if you can figure out how to swing a trade with the Timberwolves or a 3-team deal to bring him here. I think a lot of people look at Cat a certain way because he's miscast as the guy, as a number one option. Here he'd be a number 3 option, and I think he'd be a more high-powered, you know, Kevin Love, Chris Bosh type.
Yep.
But that's a lot of money to pay to a guy in that role.
True.
It limits your ability to spend elsewhere on the roster. So as much as you wouldn't have to worry about Cat, you know, being tough enough or being the guy, being that dude, it's still really difficult.
Well, I think it's ridiculous that some people went from, oh my gosh, we got Kevin Durant, to looking at this and being like, oh my God, this team sucks. And it's like, no,
Right.
you've got one of the best duos in the NBA. And if Kevin Durant's healthy and they had a decent bench around them, they might be the Nuggets right now, in winning the title. So perspective is another big part of this that people need to keep.
Yeah, matchups matter, but whoever won that second round series, I thought was going to win the West and probably have a good chance to win it all. And that's kind of what played out if you look at how quickly Denver dispatched the Lakers and the Heat in the finals.
But you know what would have happened?
What's that?
We would have got all the way to the finals, and Boston would have found a way to beat the Heat. Things would have turned around, and then Boston would have magically won the finals, and we were just, you know, that's just how it goes.
No, Saul.
Damn.
No, Saul.
So much for positivity.
Mr.
I know.
Positive.
We told him he can't say shit about Landry Shaman.
So I deterred.
He's just
Took
gonna
down
burn
the
them.
whole team.
It's okay. I was told that imaginary land doesn't exist, so we don't have to talk about it.
Okay.
Who told
That's
you
cool.
that?
That's well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Put on
well,
those blinders, so.
There you go.
there is one player that we got word on today. John Hollinger from The Athletic said that the Suns should potentially look at Utah Watanabe. Now, he's young, right? Had a breakout year in Brooklyn is what he wrote. Said shooting 44.4% from 3, but the Nets crowd at the forward position makes it seem unlikely that he is back. And one obvious place to look for him on a minimum deal would be Phoenix. The Suns will likely need to sign several minimum deals to fill out their roster this summer. And Watanabe could be reunited with KD and again play off him for open threes. Does this intrigue you guys at all?
I don't know if it intrigues me. It would make sense. Like I feel like obviously the shooting numbers are great. The 44% shooting, the fact that he shot 45.7% on catch and shoot looks like that's what you need from role players, and expectations on a minimum contract should be he's on a minimum contract for a reason, if that's what it winds up being. But you know, he's not young. He's 28 years old, and he's a guy who averaged, what was it? It was like 16 minutes a game this season. So it's not someone you're expecting to be part of your playoff rotation. It's not someone you are expecting to be a significant contributor. He's a guy that can shoot, and that's what he brings to the table at this point. Not that there's anything wrong with that or that he wouldn't be a good veteran minimum signing. I just want people's expectation, because I've seen people take this Hollinger article, which is speculating like he could be a fit, and saying like, "Oh, reunite him and KD. It's all like it's gonna be like he's okay."
But did he just
Yeah, but you
subtweet
need the
No,
okay guys.
that was in the Hollinger picture.
I think you did.
I think he did.
What am I subtweeting?
It's
My
all
tweet.
What tweet?
How much I
about
love him.
Utah. Look,
Let's go.
Look,
Did
Bring
you tweet
Utah.
about?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
What did you say?
You saw it, Gerald. I don't
So-
want to
didn't
talk
see
about it.
look. To me, you need shooters, and maybe he's just a regular season guy that falls out of the rotation. Maybe he's a guy that comes in and plays 5-8 minutes in the playoffs and hits a couple threes. We saw how that can change momentum in a series. How you need at least those options. On a minimum, I like it. He becomes the best Utah to ever play for this team. So you had Utah Tabusi at one point, who is a legend for some god awful reason. And so, but I like it because it's cheap, doesn't hurt your cap space, and is a guy that can shoot the three. And this roster lacked it completely last year.
I mean, it'd be the first time anybody enjoyed Utah. So
Yep.
Utah. Damn it.
Utah catching strays.
Just as
I wouldn't be mad at this, especially for the dollar amount that we're talking about here. You're gonna need to find guys like this to fill out your roster. Like, you have to.
You are. And like, I'm not trying to shit all over this idea. I just want, because I've seen people like expecting him to be a role player on this team. And like, how many minutes did he play in the playoffs for the Nets? 5 in one game. And that's it. So I just want people to understand this is a regular season depth move to round out the roster. I don't know you could expect much more than
Hey,
that.
sitting on the bench during the playoffs is a role too, Gerald.
He's a great locker room guy. Like KD, you could tell watching highlights when he was traded here. I'd watch all of his buckets from this season. It was awesome to see how many times Yuta was like one of the first guys off the bench that he was dapping up. Him and McHale got pretty close pretty quickly. So by all accounts, he's a great locker room guy, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I just want to set everyone's expectations in a more reasonable
Lowered
place.
expectations.
You're putting words in my mouth.
Did you not just say lower your expectations?
Reasonable.
I mean,
Reasonable.
the sounder was there.
Lowered makes it seem like we need low expectations.
No,
You just said
lowered
Just lower compared to what it is now.
You lowered them from what people think they should be.
All right, then I'm taking that role, I guess. I guess I'm taking that role, the Debbie Downer role. Sorry, guys.
I hate to break it to you, Gerald, but I feel like you've been living that role for a little bit of time.
People
now.
keep talking about Kyrie Irving and all this shit. It's not happening. I'm sorry.
Kyrie's not coming. I gave up on that. It's not happening.
Gerald said it's not happening to like 85 people already since the Suns got bounced from.
I'm just trying to live in the real world. I apologize.
Well, you know what,
It
Gerald?
was real for a moment.
Sometimes you just need to kick back, have a good margarita, and let your imagination wander.
Where are we going to do that, Linz?
We are going to Illegal Pete's.
Let's
You can kick off
go.
your week with Margarita Monday at Illegal Pete's, exclusive to Arizona locations. They've got $3 margs all day, every Monday. You know nothing brightens up that Monday mood more than soaking up the sun with a few margaritas. And don't forget about Taco Tuesdays. $2 tacos all day, every Tuesday. You can enjoy your favorites, whether it's chicken, pork, veggie tacos, all for just $2. So swing by and start your week off right at Illegal Pete's. Plus, they have happy hour every single day from 3 to 8 p.m. They extended it for the summer. So you can do that every single day. And you could just sit in the sun, Gerald, and just pretend like you're in a dreamland
Okay.
where
While you're
Damian
doing
Lillard
that-
plays for the Phoenix Suns
That'd be cool.
and Karl Anthony
How
Towns
strong are these margaritas?
and Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura. All of them.
They're the
Oh, man.
strongest in the
At the
valley.
same time.
Gerald.
Oh, okay.
And you don't forget to bring your Shady Rays.
There
though.
you go. That's what I was waiting for.
Because it is a little bit hot outside. The sun here in Phoenix is very bright. You want to make sure that you are wearing good gear that is built to last. Talking premium polarized shades from our friends at Shady Rays. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Just go to shadyrays.com. Use that code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And if you don't like them or if you break them, they'll replace them. They got a really good guarantee there to make sure that you are well taken care of long after you purchase. So check out our friends over at Shady Rays.
I want to address something in the chat.
Sure.
Sure.
Jake it or leave it said, Saul, did you show Eddie your feet?
What?
Yeah. So clearly you guys don't watch my show anymore.
I do, but I didn't watch today's.
literally 2 hours ago.
So basically, we were talking about the beach and feet, and then Eddie said nobody will ever see his feet because he says he has ugly feet, which I believe. And then I said I have beautiful feet, and he was like, he basically said, "Let me see them." And I was like, "No, I'm not taking off my shoes and showing you." And he's like, "Let me see it." And he would not let it go.
To be
And
fair.
then, so I said, "No, I'll take a picture of them when I get home and I'll send them to you."
Oh, you're going to send feet pic. Okay.
And I was going to send a feet pic. And then that's when he was like, "Dude, that's creepy." I was like, "You want to see my feet right now? That's creepy."
No.
And we went back and forth.
You didn't know.
I'm
I'm just
Team
telling
Eddie.
you to
I'm
subscribe
sorry,
to your
Saul.
OnlyFans.
That's why I said this ain't an OnlyFans, man. I'm not showing my feet right here.
It is one thing to claim that you have pretty feet and somebody being like, then fine, show me.
No, he was like, "I want to see
And
him
then
right
you
now."
being like, I'll send you feet pic later. It's two totally different conversations.
I'll tweet a feet pic. Is that better?
No.
People charge for that content online.
Why?
First of all,
And also,
get your money's worth.
If you
don't
don't
subject
if
us to
you-
your feet if you
first
don't
of all-
want to see them.
First of all, if you don't think I haven't thought about starting a feet OnlyFans, you are high out of your mind. I would do that in a second.
only feet.
Only
Oh
feet.
my God.
Absolutely. People are into that stuff. I don't know why.
One day we're going to be able to play Never
I don't
Have
know,
I
but he's-
Ever, and Saul's going to be able to, he's going to have to put his hand down when the question, Never Have I Ever sent feet pic to an NBA player before. Saul's going to be like, well, shit, I'm out, guys.
I think we have Rex Ryan on the line right now for you. So
That's the tweet. We're clipping that exactly, and we're tweeting it out. The never have I ever. Oh my
hold,
God.
hold on though. Nobody's wondering about the other side of things.
What?
How ugly are Eddie's feet?
Listen, have you
Oh,
seen
man.
NBA
Some
players'
NBA
feet
players.
and their hands? Like, I
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Like,
at all.
I'm not trying to throw shade at any NBA player in particular. Eddie clearly doesn't like his feet, but I get it.
I mean,
You
Eddie,
see one and you're like, yeah, I don't need to see anymore.
Eddie's in great. I mean great shape. He's in phenomenal
Yes.
shape. He watches every single little
Picker
thing that
getting
he eats.
weirder now.
No, but when he walks, he looks like he's kind of in pain a little bit, and it's probably because of his feet being all jacked up.
It's probably because he played
be.
19 seasons in the NBA.
And where does he play on? His
Yeah.
feet.
Oh
Damn.
my gosh.
Anyway, I'm not taking off my shoes to show anybody my feet.
Hold
right
on
now.
a second.
What if Hello sends you $5?
No.
They said
No.
they'll
Let's
send you
get those
$5.
super chats going.
No, sorry.
Oh my god.
Super chats for Salty Pig.
If we get
Come
$500
on down,
in super
everybody.
chats, Saul will show his feet.
No.
Or
He'll DM
no,
this
you
to you.
you can
sell
become a
me $500.
diehard right now at gophnx.com. And one of the perks, you're going to get $50 at Mountain Mike's. You're going to get all these great perks and a picture of Saul's feet.
This has
At gophnx.com, become a diehard.
Jay is also right. EJ did say I didn't love basketball because I have nice feet.
Well,
this has to cross some ethical boundaries for me as a journalist. I don't know which ones, but we have to.
I think you need to report on this now.
$500 gets a picture of Saul's
I mean,
feet at a
people listen.
PHNX
People have
membership.
commented on my pants being tight. They talked about my calves. Now we're just making our way down, peeps. Now we're at the feet, and then finally we can stop talking about me.
I have nothing to say.
so we have some super chats.
Oh no.
No, not those.
It's like, oh, no.
No. Normal super chats
Okay.
from normal people in the chat.
Wow.
Oh man.
So we got one from Leo. Thank you, Leo. We appreciate you. Said, I'm probably crazy. I don't know, but would this work? Blazers get Beal. Suns get Anthony Simons and Kuzma. Wizards get Ayton. Blazers third pick. More Blazers picks and Shamet.
Ooh. Tingly.
I mean, obviously, I would have to check the math on that, but asset wise, that looks not too far off. I feel like the
wouldn't
number
hate
three
this.
pick for Beal is quite a bit at this point with the contract, but,
But how desperate
the Blazers are desperate to convince Dame we're trying, which they've been trying to do for a decade now. But I'll check the math on that and see.
If the maths, I like this a lot.
Yeah, I'd be down for
Yeah.
that. And I could see where the Wizards are like, yeah,
okay, maybe
we're good
why not?
here,
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure. Thanks, Leo. Appreciate you. We'll report back when Gerald is able to check the math on that. And then I always forget how to say this.
Aztecs.
That's not how you pronounce that.
Or all text.
All text.
Sorry. I can't
Thank you
see
for
it
your
from here.
super chat. We appreciate you as well. Said, I don't have Del Taco in St. Louis. It sucks. Taco Bell has Baja Blast. Del Taco has churros. I'll say Taco Bell is better once they have churros. LOL.
Is Baja Blast what happens to you after you eat Taco Bell?
No,
Come
Espo.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go have a Baja
I don't
Blast.
love Baja
Toilet
Blast.
humor.
I had it the other day, and I didn't love it. Is that what you had?
No. Oh no.
No, we're not going that route. I'm
not
being just a
literal
normal
toilet humor.
person here. Altex. That's how you pronounce it. Thank you. Altex.
Unbelievable.
I'm
mental
not
image.
leaning
God
into
damn
your
it.
shenanigans of what you said. I'm talking about the literal drink. You brats. But I also have never had Del Taco's churros, so I can't speak to that. I don't know that I trust them to be good churros. I feel like, doesn't Costco have churros?
Yeah.
I feel like I would rather go to Costco and get a churro than
You like
Del
Disneyland
Taco.
churros?
Yeah.
Okay. Than that. No, I'm sorry. Disneyland is better than Del Tacos by a
Well,
mile.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, but
You pay
at
a lot
Del
more,
Taco,
too.
yeah, it's 99 cents. It's $99 at Disneyland for a churro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I had a churro
This is
and
the
a chicken
weirdest
quesadilla from Del Taco when I was like 13. Got food poisoning. That was my first time with food poisoning. Put me in the hospital.
That's
Not fun.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I believe that.
Emma, do we still
Um,
have the framework of that from the super chat by any chance?
Yeah, I have it right here, Gerald. Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah.
I'm now guessing Del Taco and Taco Bell will never be sponsors here.
Emma, just leave it up there. That
Sham
works.
it.
Okay, and so while Gerald is looking at that, we also got a little bit more of an update for you guys on coaching staff shenanigans. So we got a tweet from, and I'm so sorry if I say this name incorrectly, Omari Sankofa the second, Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. New Monty Williams Pistons coaching staff includes former Rockets head coach Steven Silas, former Sixers assistant Dan Burke, Phoenix holdovers Brian Randall, Jarrett Jack, and Steve Scalzi. So those three coming from Phoenix, meaning that we know for sure now that we're down a couple more guys who were once on this Phoenix Suns coaching staff. And then Mark Bryant, we already knew that he had moved on as well.
I don't care. I don't care.
Damn.
We got a super staff. We don't need those guys.
I mean, you shouldn't be surprised that that's how I feel.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
don't want
no.
these guys.
Even
I
when
mean,
players leave, I'm like, all right, it's time to move on. Like, hey, these guys are making the best decision that they can for themselves. I don't know if they got the opportunity here to stay, but they got another opportunity in Detroit, and they're familiar with Monty, and they know his system. Like, it makes sense.
So, yeah, it makes sense that they're gone. It's not surprising. I think the bigger thing for me is that the amount of turnover. It's not necessarily losing any one coach. I know people like Mark Bryant was really well liked among the big men here. And DA has credited a lot of his growth to working with MB on a day-to-day basis. Steve Scalzi was their G League coach last year. Like, all of these guys have been praised by various Suns players over the years. So it's not that they're not good coaches. It's more so the concern for me is that there's a lot of turnover there. So the guys that are sticking around, it'll be new. There'll be new relationships to build, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is something that you have to, we talk about this being a step-by-step process throughout a season. That's another step to add in there to getting used to new assistant coaches, learning about their tendencies, vice versa with the players, how they like to be coached and that type of thing. So that is a lot of turnover. That's a lot of coaches that are gone, Jarrett Jack as well. So it'll just be another part of this adjustment process that we're seeing over the course of training camp and the regular season.
Yeah, it'll put a lot of emphasis on camp because there's a lot you're going to have to start to understand, relationships, which likely will start to be built over the summer, but that's the first time you kind of wind up all together. It'll be interesting to see the adjustment, but to your point, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think in the long run, it might be a good thing that we're getting a lot of fresh voices in here.
I agree. Gerald, did you do the math yet? You need more time?
Yeah, so it doesn't work as constructed. Let me see if you take out Landry Shamet and throw in Yusuf Nurkic to the Wizards. That works just on Fanspo. I'd have to do the actual math. But if the Suns get Kuzma and Anthony Simons, assuming Kuzma opts into his player option, and then the Wizards get Nurkic and Ayton, which I don't know why they would do that because they already have Kristaps as well, and they're trading for two centers. And then the Blazers get Beal, and then you throw the picks where they need to go, like it was mentioned. That works financially. But we would need to tweak with that a little bit because throwing Landry Shamet in for the Blazers throws off the math. Not including your use of Nurkic makes it trickier, and you need more salary to fill that out. So framework's there, but it needs some work.
I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
I love that we all stayed silent when I have to sneeze. All right, everybody can listen to it.
I tried so hard to hold that in until you were done, Gerald.
It's okay.
My nose was tingling. I think that's the first time I've ever sneezed on this show.
Tingling?
Your nose doesn't like itch and tingle when you have to
It
sneeze?
doesn't tingle.
Whatever. You guys are so dramatic with words.
I didn't say anything.
That was
Neither
a pretty
you and
Neither
Emma.
did I. I'm just sitting here.
What are you
Emma
talking
saw.
about?
Just catching
So
shots
dramatic.
from Tingle Nose over there.
I'm just sitting here trying not to make a cocaine joke. So.
Good job, you didn't do it.
Damn it!
We were so close. Thank you, everyone in the chat who said bless you.
So much. You guys are so kind.
Anyway,
I'm impressed you only sneezed once. I sneeze
Yeah.
in 3.
Yeah.
a lot of times I do
Yeah.
too. I think I just got really lucky with that one.
Sometimes I sneeze and I blow my back out. I'm like,
Even though these 3 and 4,
Brother.
including Emma, are being real sassy, our friends over at Four Peaks are doing good things in our community. Four Peaks for Teachers is going on right now. Four Peaks is giving away 11 $1,000 cash grants, and one lucky teacher will win a teacher's lounge renovation provided by Four Peaks. If you'd like to thank a teacher, you can nominate them by going to fourpeaks4teachers.org. Make sure you complete the form before June 30th. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You do have to be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks. Yeah, so you drink responsibly. Why are you guys all giggling?
Because he's
Saul's crying. What
immature.
the hell?
he's immature.
I'm so immature. It's not even funny.
It's not even funny, but I'm over here crying.
What happened to the show today?
It's broken.
Oh my God.
It's you.
This is what happens when we do. Yeah.
You're the problem.
What happened
It's
to the
you.
show today? He asked
All
the mirror.
3 of you and Emma.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Oh man.
So many shenanigans. Are we going to have what's the over under for no shenanigan shows in the off season?
Oh, 0.
You ever seen those
One.
boards that it's like blank days since the last incident? It's
Yeah,
always a
we're
big
going to
fat
always
zero.
be at 0.
You know
Yeah.
what? No. Friday is just you and Gerald.
That's true.
We'll have
There you
one
go.
day.
0 shenanigans on that
I
show.
will carry it through the weekend, so that'll be 3 days
Yeah.
of no shenanigans.
Oh boy, look at that.
Man.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone in the chat who said bless you. I appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. We got another show for you at 3 p.m. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo.
Can I tease something real quick?
Sure.
We think we have a pretty cool guest tomorrow.
Mhm.
So you're definitely going to want to tune in tomorrow. And next Tuesday's Trade Machine Tuesday should be pretty electric.
Ooh,
We got some good
Yeah.
stuff cooking up for
We
you
got
guys.
some good stuff.
Espo, take us home.
Just remember, at Biombo, Boban, and Beyond, you can get great deals on NBA players and no pictures of Saul's feet. Ahoy, hoy.
Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saul pass the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always wreck the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B.